Hi guys, here I am in front of the Ardmore Mercy train 1108, and I'm here to read to you some books about trains. This one is called I Dream of Trains by Angela Johnson, illustrated by Loren Long. I want to say a special thanks to another Angela at the Ardmore Public Library. She helped me find these books. Papa tells me Casey Jones started dreaming about trains when he was littler than me. I think of that, of big old Casey Jones being littler than me, and I smile. And I dream of trains too, as the Mississippi morning gets hotter and red dirt sticks to my feet, making them heavy. While the picking hurts my back, I look over the long white rows and listen for Casey's whistle, dreaming of trains. When the cotton's all gone, I'm still dreaming. I walk along the tracks and soon it's just us, me, Casey Jones, and his fireman Sim Webb. We work together as the engine carries us past the delta and across the plains, over mountains, past the desert into the ocean, far away from here. Along the way, we look at people and places, and then Casey lets me drive the engine. And somewhere along the plains, Casey lifts me up toward the magic, and I sound the whistle. Some sounds can remind you of times gone by, and as I blow the whistle, I remember that I'm walking along the Mississippi tracks dreaming of this. Soon I'm back beside my tracks, missing Casey and Sim, and the feel of the whistle speaking to me. Papa says it's the sound of leaving that speaks to my soul on through the daytime, that lingers through the night. Casey Jones knows, Papa says. Casey Jones must know. Short days, cold days, turn back into long, warm planting days, and we are where we were and who we are. I still stare at the tracks and wait for Casey and his engine to come flying past the fields and dream me away. But then one rainy April night, just up around Vaughn, they say the rain was pouring worse than anybody had seen in years, but Casey Jones and Sim Webb took the 382 out into the night. Casey was doing a favor because it wasn't really his run, and he was making up time, flying, and didn't see the train ahead, the full train up ahead. Papa says that before the wreck came, Casey sounded his whistle through the rain. He grabbed the brake and the whistle, warning everybody he was coming. Holding fast, he told Sam Webb to jump into the dark night. Papa says they found him with the brake still in his hand. I ask Papa, does that mean it's over? We stand beside the spot where Casey's engine 382 finally came to rest. Papa says no, there'll be other trains and engines, and then he talks to me about the big wide world and the oceans and cities and mountains that I'll one day see. When Papa squeezes my hand and I know that I have another hero besides Casey, I walk slowly home with him and I think of Casey with his hand on the whistle and his other hand on the brake. Too soon the rows of white cotton come back to us all, and I bend and pick, bend and pick beside my family and listen for the whistle that blows past us, but it doesn't speak to our souls. When it's cool again, I walk the woods and think of big old Casey and the cry of his whistle dreaming me away, dreaming me away. One day when I'm older, I'll leave the cotton behind. I'll miss my family in the woods and all that made me smile. But when my time comes for leaving, I'll take a train and remember as I roll away what Papa said about Casey and his soul-speaking whistles and my place in the big wide world. that's the end of the book. But there's a little bit in the end about Casey Jones. A note on this book. At the turn of the 20th century, black sharecroppers up and down the Mississippi Delta toiled long hours in fields along the route of Illinois Central's Cannonball, which John Luther Casey Jones drove back and forth between Canton, Mississippi and Memphis, Tennessee. To the many men, women, and children along his route, the sight of Casey's massive engine barreling north and the long, drawn-out call of his trademark whistle must have been a symbol of hope. Moreover, the fact that Irish Casey worked side by side with Black Webb probably did much to fuel the imaginations of people who still remembered the sting of slavery and longed for an opportunity to be seen as equals with their fellow Americans. So it's completely understandable that Casey's tragic death one stormy night late in April 1900 would have such a tremendous impact on a disenfranchised black community with far too few heroes. And while the event was soon forgotten by most, Casey's life and death became the stuff of songs and stories for the black rail workers who worked on the IC line. It was one of those workers, Wallace Saunders, who authored the ballad that is still sung in countless versions to this day. And it's interesting to note that Casey's death occurred at the beginning of a period when countless blacks abandoned the oppressive South in search of new opportunities in cities like New York and Chicago. Historians commonly refer to the period as the Great Migration. How many of those individuals first got the idea to flee north from watching Casey's majestic engine? One can only wonder. The end. I love you guys and I miss you. I'll see you soon. Bye.